Stock markets crashed today as Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell announced his plans.
Good afternoon. My colleagues and I are strongly committed to bringing inflation back down to our 2% goal.
Let's watch this compilation over the last 2 years of experts, politicians, and top financial gurus gaslighting us that inflation wasn't coming from their money printing bonanza and lockdown policies.
I really doubt that we're going to see an inflationary cycle.
Most economic analysts believe that it will have a temporary or transitory impact.
The faster than expected increase in some of those prices is actually a good sign.
The overwhelming consensus is going to pop up a little bit and then go back down. No one's talking about this great,
This is something that will settle down.
Transitory.
And the data shows that most of the price increases we've seen were expected and are expected to be temporary. There's nobody suggesting there's unchecked inflation on the way. It's highly unlikely that's going to be long-term inflation that's going to get out of hand. I don't know anybody who's worried about inflation.
Over the last couple of months, we actually saw it trended downward.
President Biden's chief of staff, Ron Klain, enthusiastically retweeted an economist who had said in part most of the economic problems we're facing, inflation, supply chains, et cetera, are high-class problems.
What is the Granholm plan to increase oil production in America?
Oh my God, that is hilarious.
Well, the number one thing that the president can do is help get COVID under control. That we know is the root cause of inflation.
President Biden this afternoon saying he thinks we're at the peak of the crisis right now and that lower prices are on the way.
The inflation has everything to do with the supply chain. Make no mistake, inflation is largely the fault of Putin. I'm going to do everything I can to minimize Putin's price hike here at home.
If you want to get rid of inflation, the only way to do it is to undo a lot of the Trump tax cuts.
I think ever since you've come into office, things are really looking up. You know, gas is up, rent is up, food is up, everything.
Isn't that just incredible? We'll watch Jerome Powell's speech, talk about it, and ask the question, are we being governed by complete idiots who didn't see this coming, or are they simply lying to us? What do you think? The live starts now.
Good afternoon. My colleagues and I are strongly committed to bringing inflation back down to our 2% goal. We have both the tools we need and the resolve that it will take to restore price stability on behalf of American families and businesses. Price stability is the responsibility of the Federal Reserve and serves as the bedrock of our economy. Without price stability, the economy does not work for anyone. In particular, without price stability, we will not achieve a sustained period of strong labor market conditions that benefit all. Today, the FOMC raised its policy interest rate by 0.75 percentage point, and we anticipate that ongoing increases will be appropriate. We are moving our policy stance purposefully to a level that will be sufficiently restrictive to return inflation to 2%.
The Dream Rare Podcast, welcome to the show. The way to get the news at the desk or on the road. Let's go. God is great and success in our control. The world is crazy, but we get better from obstacles. It's the Dream Rare Podcast, welcome to the show. The way to get the news at the desk or on the road. Let's go. God is great and success in our control. The world is crazy, but we get better from obstacles. Yeah. What's going on, folks? Thanks for being here live on the show today. The Fed raised interest rates by another 0.75 percentage point. Jerome Powell spoke, and a lot of stocks crashed today. I played that clip at the beginning, the compilation of Janet Yellen, of Jen Psaki, Joe Biden, Chuck Schumer, other financial experts and gurus and people that we're told to trust, and you're not allowed to question it or else they fact check you. I had to show that compilation because I think it's a great expose of the gaslighting over the last year or 2 years, where they told us that inflation wasn't going to come. It's a joke. It's because of this. It's because of this. It's going to stop. And it doesn't stop. And it doesn't take a financial genius to know they printed. It's hard to even calculate because I see different. The Federal Reserve printed money. They used taxpayer money. Trillions upon trillions of dollars were spent in 2020 during the lockdown. They closed off supply chains, but they also just started printing funny money. They gave everybody $1,600 in 2020, and it was bipartisan. And it's like, okay, I don't care if you like Trump or hate Trump, or you're afraid of COVID, or you love lockdowns, or you hate lockdowns. Regardless of your politics or your preference of who you like and dislike, I thought everybody knew you couldn't just print money in thin air and hand it out to everybody. If everyone gets $1,600, what's the point? Yeah, okay, if it's that easy, just give me $1 million. Give everyone $1 million, right? Well, I'll be rich. That's not how economics works. We knew that before 2020. But all of a sudden, because of a virus, now all of a sudden we're all socialists and communists for a year. And then Joe Biden gets in office, and of course he just starts dumping fuel on the fire and doing the Build Back Better, this and that, and printing more money and more money. And as they're printing money to make up for the money that they already printed in 2020, they're all telling us inflation. I mean, I showed the compilation at the beginning. Inflation's not going to come, and fact check. The experts say this, and it's like. And now they're like, yeah, it's worse than we thought. Yeah, we'll raise the interest rates again. We're going to either have to sacrifice your 401ks or inflation. You're going to have to choose one. And I'm not saying the Fed at the moment is doing the wrong thing. I talk to people who know finances better than me, and they're like, yeah, this is, they're stuck in a rock and a hard place right now, because it's not just like they have a magic paintbrush and everybody can be rich. It's like now, because they did all this stuff in 2020 and 2021, they have to choose. Someone's going to suffer, because when you print out the money and hand it out to everybody, it's got to come from somewhere in order for things to work straight. So this begs the question. I'm going to play another compilation real quick. Are they lying to us? Are they gaslighting us purposely? Are these people really smart and they know that it's just smart to lie to us for political reasons? Or are they stupid? Are we governed by idiots who don't know economics as well as me, who doesn't know economics barely at all? It's got to be one or the other, because I would guarantee you the average rural worker who doesn't, I'm not saying all rural workers didn't go to college, but I'm just saying the average rural worker who didn't go to college and just does hard physical labor probably could have predicted inflation better than the top economic experts who probably have 12 years of education. So are people, are the people in charge stupid? Are they really just dumb? Or are they lying to us? Because I have a hard time believing it's anything else. When you print as much money as they did in 2020, print as much money as Biden did and Democrats did in 2021, and then act like that's going to have no impact, like you got to be stupid or you're lying. Speaking of lying and experts, I'm going to play this clip again. I know it's getting old to some, but I just have to document historically. This is now historical evidence of what they're trying to cover up, like that first compilation I played, of more people, including the CDC director, Joe Biden, and Rachel Maddow, lying to our faces about the COVID vaccine and what it's going to do. And we need to just show compilations like this to prove that the fact checkers and these experts that want to tell us we're not allowed to say stuff, they're nothing more than propagandists for the regime. Fact checkers are a PR team for the Biden administration. They're a PR team for Big Pharma. They're a PR team for left-wing and phony right-wing global politics and this agenda that they have rolling out. They're not interested in the truth. They're not interested in facts. They're not interested in allowing you to have a First Amendment discussion about complex issues that are a gray area. They are there to serve the regime, and that's why they get away with stuff like this, and they never get demonetized or fact-checked.
We're not in a position where we think that any virus, including the Delta virus, which is much more transmissible and more deadly in terms of unvaccinated people, the various shots that people are getting now cover that. You're okay. You're not going to get COVID if you have these vaccinations.
Our data from the CDC today suggests, that vaccinated people do not carry the virus, don't get sick, and that it's not just in the clinical trials, but it's also in real-world data.
Now we know that the vaccines work well enough that the virus stops with every vaccinated person. A vaccinated person gets exposed to the virus does not infect them. The virus cannot then use that person to go anywhere.
Since I've been reposting that clip on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, it's gotten millions of views because I don't want it to go away. I know it gets repetitive, but I just want to show to the fact checkers, if you were to disagree with Rochelle Walensky right there, they're fact checking you saying, oh, no, you're not allowed to do that. That's the experts. I'm going to play real quick, and then I'm going to keep this very brief and say one more thing before I end this live stream because I want it to be shareable. Share this clip, show your friends. I appreciate it. Janet Yellen is supposed to be a financial expert. She served in multiple administrations. How did she not know, with the trillions of dollars that were printed under Trump, Pelosi, McConnell, and then the trillions more that were sanctioned or rather signed off on under Joe Biden's little Build Back Better, whatever he calls it, plan to boost the economy and natural, energy and stuff? How did they not know from an economic standpoint that inflation was going to come? Something was going to, you can't just can't just hand out money all over the place. That's not how it works. So we're going to watch just 20 seconds of this and then beg the question.
I really doubt that we're going to see an inflationary cycle.
Most economic analysts believe that it will have a temporary or transitory impact.
The faster than expected increase in some of those prices is actually a good sign.
The overwhelming consensus is going to pop up a little bit and then go back down. No one's talking about this great,
This is something that will settle down.
Transitory.
And the data shows that most of the price increases we've seen were expected and are expected to be temporary. There's nobody suggesting there's unchecked inflation on the way.
And keep in mind, guys, the data that they're referencing, the experts that they're referencing, the consensus, the data, we're telling you, these are the same people that are telling you that you're not allowed to question Big Pharma, you're not allowed to question their COVID policies. I got false fact checked. By the way, real quick before I leave and before I wrap up, stayintouchwithme.com is my free email list. I've collected hundreds of thousands of emails, and I'm going to email everybody in a day or two. I'm almost done with it. I've been working on it for weeks. I'm fact-checking the fact-checkers. I've exposed them. I have their email. They lied about me. They showed me an inside to how they work in their mind because they were, telling me why they fact-checked me. And I'm going to do the best presentation out there to really expose them, because the fact-checkers are not bipartisan fact-checkers who care about truth. They have more power than congressmen. I would argue that fact-checkers have more power than Thomas Massey or Marjorie Taylor Greene or, really anybody that's a congressman, because they have the ability to shut off someone's account and censor you and take away millions of dollars of money through censorship and through flagging. They have the ability to socially engineer and reroute hundreds of millions of people to a different website or to a false label. So these people have more power than politicians. Many of them operate in France and foreign countries. They're not even from America, and they're lying constantly. So I'm going to expose them. But, the point of that clip is that these experts that they tell you not to question, they're constantly wrong. So you have to ask yourself, are they really expert, non-partisan economists and scientists, or are they expert propagandists? I think they're expert propagandists. I think they're expert PR team. It's like if I was somebody that didn't want to get questioned, oh yeah, fact check, Anomaly's handsome, fact check, Anomaly's, 7'9". It's like I'm 6'3", but no, I want to be 7'9" today. If nobody can question me, why not? Anomaly's the most handsome person on the planet. Fact check, you can't say, it's like, yeah, sure. I would love to have a group of little operative PR team that everything I said was amazing, everything I said was unquestionable, and every prediction I made about COVID vaccines or the economy is the law of the land now. That's who the fact checkers are. So, between that compilation and the other compilation about the vaccine, I think it's pretty clear that we should be able to question the experts and the scientists running our government and the economists, because they're constantly wrong. Jerome Powell is now trying to clean up the mess. I mean, I'm not saying he's innocent. He's a part of the Fed, but at a certain point, this was always predictable. This was the most predictable thing in the last 2 years was either inflation or some sort of economic collapse is coming, because they shut down supply chains. They destroyed hundreds of thousands of restaurants and businesses. They basically shut off our economy for 2 months to a year and never fully opened it after that. It's still roaring back or having trouble coming back. Trump did the funny money thing with McConnell and Pelosi, where he handed out $1,600 to virtually the whole country, bailed out a bunch of big businesses, I would say the cruise lines. Everybody's just getting this money. Big Pharma's getting tens of billions of dollars. Here, Zelensky, you take some money. That's fine, but trillions of dollars in 2020, right? So we already did the $1 trillion thing. There's trillions of dollars. Democrats signed off on it. Republicans signed off on it. I would argue that Trump, Pelosi, McConnell, Democrats, Republicans, rhinos, and even your favorite Republicans outside of Thomas Massey, who's the only one who seemed to tell the truth about it, they pretty much just did a controlled demolition on the economy. You could act like Trump saved the economy for 3 years, but then he was in on the controlled demolition of it, okay? So we all know that happened, unless you lie to yourself because of partisan politics. Now Joe Biden gets in. The fact that all these experts are on camera just saying, oh, it's going to be temporary. I mean, they're part of the controlled demolition. At that point, when Biden gets in, if they really want to save the economy or they really want to do something, they have to be honest about 2020 and be like, okay, both parties really rocked the boat by shutting down supply chains and printing all this money. We need to strategically look at it and figure out how to reel that back in. or else this is going to get out of control. But instead, Biden took gasoline, metaphorically, and poured it on as much as he possibly could to the fire and said, here, I'm going to do this, pouring gasoline on the fire, making it worse, making it more obvious, making it worse. And then it all happens and they say, oh, well, it's the Putin price hikes. Oh my gosh, guys. I mean, anybody with half a brain can see right through it. Before I end, I just wanted to do something funny because I have to enjoy myself in clown world or else these people just piss me off. This is the Irish Times. They put out an article the other day that said, I am a gay man in a straight woman's body. If I were to speak to my husband about this, it could end our marriage. So a gay man would like a man. A straight woman would like a man. So you're a gay man in a straight woman's body. I mean, it's just so wild to wrap my head around this. I hope you get the help you deserve because obviously you're struggling. That's a tough scenario to deal with. But, maybe if you're lucky and you're a U.S. citizen, you can maybe you could become the Biden administration head of finance or transportation because he loves hiring people like that are like, am I a man? Am I a woman? Am I a gay man? Am I a straight woman? Don't let Joe Biden see you because he might hire you and put you at the head of some Department of Homeland Security or something. Next thing you know, you wake up, you don't know what gender you are, but you're serving a top administration telling everybody on TV that inflation's not going to come. And if you dare question the regime, they'll fact check you with their little operatives based out of France. I mean, my goodness. God bless you guys. God bless your family. God bless America. God bless the world. Thank you so much for watching. I'm going to keep this one short and brief. Appreciate you. Share this video if you like it. Share it on Facebook, on YouTube. I'm on Rumble. I'm on BitChute. I'm on Apple. I'm on Spotify. Despite the shadow bans and the minor censorship, I will continue to push forward. And I've been working on a very high quality fact-checking the fact checkers expose. It's going to be about 30 minutes long. It's going to have music behind it. It's going to have way better visuals than here. It's going to look like partially a documentary. If you want to get an email, there's two ways. Stayintouchwithme.com. Just type that in, stayintouchwithme.com. It's my free email list. Put your email in, and I will email you a direct message. That's going to be my next email, is a link to fact-checking the fact-checkers. I want it to go viral. I want newspapers to pick it up. I want to make such a scene that the fact-checkers for Facebook and Instagram and people like Zuckerberg have to face the fact that they're partnered with organizations not based in America that are lying, reading your comments, quoting your comments to me and saying anomaly because you get thousands of comments that we're allowed to fact check your true video and rate it false because you're misleading people in the comments. I have all of it, folks. I'm exposing them. Stayintouchwithme.com, or my Telegram chat is Dream Rare Chat. Like my Instagram's Dream Rare, DreamRare. You search Dream Rare Chat and you can find my Telegram channel. I'm gonna blast it out. Appreciate you. Have a beautiful day.